Hey guys, Sean here, and welcome to my new show, which is kind of officially starting this week, but kind of not, but kind of is. What's in my head this week, or whatever the fuck I end up calling this officially. But basically, we're going to talk about things usually related to gaming. Like this week, I'm going to touch on net neutrality, which is gaming related, although not like an Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever, Steam, directly related subject. But it does affect gaming, and it does matter. And it is related in that way. It's going to be, I think, every Saturday. I was going to do it on Fridays because gaming news usually goes Monday to Friday. But I figured I don't want to do it late Friday night, and you never know when like something will pop up Friday afternoon. So I figured I would record it Friday nights and then post it Saturday. I hope to get set up better. I plan on, like, we're over here behind me. I plan on getting a desk and setting up in that corner area. You can't tell, but it's a corner. And doing the show from there and having a better setup and possibly being able to like show stuff to my left, like a picture or whatever, video, whatever we're talking about. But right now, this is how it is because this is ugly and you don't want to see it. So anyway, let's get right into it so I don't talk too long, because I'm going to talk too long no matter what. So the first thing of the news this week is Microsoft is taking the Kinect out of the Xbox One packaging. It is no longer bundled with the Xbox One as of, I believe, June 9th. This decision was probably mainly based in the idea of trying to get it down to $400, which is the same price as the PlayStation 4. Now, this is something that I said would have to happen because I don't think that the Kinect is a useful item. I think that what Microsoft has probably seen in recent months is that most people don't want the Kinect, and that it struggles to offer things gaming related, and I think that it always would have made more sense the whole time had Microsoft just put a microphone in the front of the Xbox somewhere. I don't know, just like a webcam's microphone exists, or like the Kinect's microphone exists, but like in the front of the Xbox One, and just call it a day. You could have your voice control, you could do all these things without the big bulky camera that has this big cable and is taking up space in the room, and it's an ugly camera. And as far as my use of my Xbox One to this point, I've never used the camera feature. For once I accidentally closed my Netflix video with my feet. That happened. Because if you go like this, hang on, I'm off the camera. If you go like this, but like you have your arms way out here, but you like close them, it'll like close whatever you're watching in Netflix. I'm pretty sure it only happens in Netflix. I believe it was Netflix. It could have been just a regular Xbox movie, but I think it was Netflix. And I was sitting in a recliner, and my feet, like, twitched or something, and it shut my fucking show. I was like, what did I do? And then so I went like this. I was like, oh. But it was fucking hysterical, although not really good functionality. And I think, you can't make a game like Call of Duty with the Kinect. You can't make a game like Halo, like Madden, like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Titanfall, any of these games with the Kinect. And the games you can make are dance games, but, I mean, how many dance games do we need? And what we don't need is a $100 peripheral that people are forced to buy to get your console to play a dance game they don't plan on playing. Like, I never will be dancing in front of my television. I won't be dancing at a bar, at a club, anywhere. I will not be dancing. I do not dance. Dancing is not one of my many talents, if you say I had many talents. But I will not be dancing, so I don't need I don't need it to be there. It doesn't make sense. And I think that a lot of what happened with the Kinect was they spent a lot of money developing the technology, obviously, when they called it Project Natal, and this was this big thing that they were going to do. They spent all this money, and I think that it kind of, like, it was sort of successful with the 360, but I think they were expecting more along the lines of, like, the Wii success, where, like, people went nuts, and that didn't happen. And so they put it in the Xbox One box, and they're like, okay, well, it's Kinect 2, and we have to recoup some of the, R&D money that we spent developing this technology. We have to recoup it, and the way to recoup it is to package it in with everything. Someone will buy it, and then hopefully the games will come and the software will come that people are really excited, and this is what makes it happen. And I think what they saw was that they are having a horrible time in sales, and I know that people want to say that, like, it's close, they're right there with Sony. They're not. Okay, they announced shipping 5 million units, where Sony announced selling 7 million units. Okay, shipping means to the store. They have shipped 5 million units to GameStop, Walmart, wherever, Amazon. They have given them 5 million units. Sony has sold through to customers 7 million units. Now, you could say, well, maybe Microsoft sold 6.5 million. They didn't. If they had sold 6.5 million, they would have said they sold 6.5 million. They have sold probably 4 million, 4.5 million at this point, and so they are now. I know it's early, and I know it's ridiculous to say, or it sounds ridiculous to say, but they are trying to save this console and this console generation for them. Because if they fall too far behind, it's over. And to fall too far behind because people don't want your Kinect, you put the Kinect in the box, you force it on them, and now it's costing $100 more. And when, you know, I know, again, it's early, but when games are performing better on PS4 and people are happy with their PS4, there's no issues, glaring issues right now, and you're asking people to spend $100 more to get a camera they don't want, that's not good. You can't sync an entire console over a camera. You just can't. You have to pull out. And now I wonder what's going to happen with the Kinect. I wonder what the future of the Kinect is. Harmonix is making a game specifically for the Kinect. I imagine they're not happy about this news. And the whole point was that everyone would have a Kinect. So the install base for games would be there from day one because everyone has it. And now that's not going to happen. And I wonder how you sell the Kinect now, because they say, at least, or they hinted at, that the bundle version is still sticking around. The $500, you get the Xbox One, you get the Kinect. And, you can't sell, you can't sell the Kinect for less than $100, because if you do that, then it's cheaper to buy them separately, and that doesn't make much sense. And if you could sell them for cheaper, if you could sell it for cheaper than $100, why wouldn't you just drop the price of the bundle to like $450 or whatever the hell you're going to sell the Kinect for? Like, why would that not be your first move? So I don't get it. I don't know what they're going to do. I think the Kinect is done. I think it's over. I think the experiment is ended, and they are admitting defeat on this. And it's sad, but they have failed at everything they have done with the Xbox One. Everything they've said they were going to do or tried to do has failed and blown up in their face. And I know people are going to go, oh, well, they're trying to innovate. Sony didn't innovate. Okay. See, here's my iPhone. This is my iPhone. When iPhones came out, not everyone with a cell phone rushed out and bought an iPhone. They were like, I don't need an iPhone. I got my phone. It's fine. It works great. Eventually, people were like, okay, so my friend has an iPhone, and they say it's the greatest thing ever. No one has gotten the Kinect and said it was the greatest thing ever. No one has gone to their friend and said, you need to get an Xbox One so you can have a Kinect because it will change your life. The Kinect changes no one's life. If anything, it costs you $100 more, and that hurts your life. That doesn't help your life. And if you want a Kinect, if you really want the 3 games available for it, you can get one. No one's stopping you. Go ahead, have fun. But to sabotage sales numbers over a camera that a good chunk of the install base, or potential install base, does not want, is a little stupid. And really, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I think this is a good move on their part. It still doesn't solve all the issues with the Xbox One. I think they said they're redesigning or reworking the menus and the UI, which I think is a major issue. The UI with the controller absolutely sucks, and you have to have the Kinect for that because it's like a train wreck if you try to navigate in any other way. So, how long have I been talking? I've been talking for 10 minutes already. Okay, moving on. So, we're going to jump into net neutrality. So, this week, on Thursday, the U.S., the FCC in the U.S. has decided to move forward with their plans for what is basically the ability to pay to have your data prioritized. So, for instance, Netflix has come to an agreement with Comcast where they pay Comcast more money than they normally would to make sure that their data is priority and that it gets through to customers as fast as it can and works the best it can. And while that doesn't necessarily sound terrible in and of itself, the idea that you can pay to go faster than everyone else and be above everyone else becomes a problem in the instance that, okay, so I am starting video streaming. That's my website name. It's a terrible name and not good at all. But I'm starting video streaming, and Netflix is scared that I'm going to come and take over. So they pay more money to be higher priority than me. and then I don't pay more money, and because I don't pay more money, my stuff gets slowed down. Now my stream sucks. Now no one can watch my shit, and they all go back to Netflix, and I can never get going. I can never do anything. And it's a problem. You cannot have it so that you can move faster than everyone else. You can get to your customers faster than everyone else, and everyone else is fucked. You can't have that. And I said on Twitter this week that you are an internet service provider. That is what ISP stands for. You do not own the internet. You provide the internet. You are not God. You don't get to play God. You don't get to choose who succeeds and who fails based on who has the bigger wallet. That's not how this works. And to think that they keep going to the... And here's my biggest issue, is they go to the FCC and they go, well, we need this because Netflix takes up a lot of bandwidth. And to improve our service, we need more money to do these things. Okay. If you could guarantee to me tomorrow that all the money you get from Netflix would go towards improving the backbone of the entire country for everyone, then great. But what all you're doing, really, is you're using an excuse of a problem that doesn't exist too bad right this second to get more money, to make more money, to have a larger profit so that you can, roll around with it. I don't know what the fuck you plan on doing with it, but I know that it's not going to go directly to improving the backbone, because if Verizon or Comcast or AT&T wanted to improve things, they have ample money to improve it. They have more money than they know what to do with. It's just sitting there. They profit like $4 billion a year apiece. Like, profit, not made, profit. Get to keep and play with and throw in the air and do whatever the fuck they do with it. And, I have reason to believe, and I can't say who or why, but sources say that this already goes on, that people do pay for priority already, as is evidenced by the Netflix deal with Comcast, although that's not what I'm talking about. But to formally say that you can do this is ridiculous. And so now, basically what needs to happen is the FCC, although they passed it on Thursday, it's not official, it's, it moves forward, basically. The idea to pay for fast lanes and, to legalize that. And, I think that the only way you could do that would be to say that everything has to keep running at its current speed, and if you want to make it faster, you could. But that's not good, because they're going to abuse it, they're going to ruin it, and you can't, they said, we'll let them do it, but they can't abuse it. Okay, fucking good luck with that. Companies trying to make money, not abusing things that could make them more money. Okay, that's how America works. We could make more money if we abuse this, but we won't. Oh yeah, So, what needs to happen is they need to be redesignated as common carriers, which then allows the FCC to regulate them. Which is why, they used to do this. This used to be a thing that you had to treat everyone equally, and then a court shot it down saying that the FCC can't regulate the internet companies or broadband providers, which is technically accurate. They can't right now, but to redesignate them, they literally need to say they are common carriers. They are like a phone company. They are that, and they cannot just do whatever they want, because now we can regulate them. And basically, if they do that, they can put the old rule back in place, or a similar rule, saying that you have to treat everyone's data fairly, you cannot prioritize someone over the other person, you can't pick favorites, you don't get to choose who succeeds and who fails, you don't get to play God with the internet. And that's what needs to happen. And it's ridiculous that this would even, come on, guys, I know the FCC is run by people who probably have gotten money or will get money or something from the internet companies in the past or in the future. They will either be hired by them to lobby for them, or they were and now they're here. But this can't happen. Because once this happens, once this is official, you can't go back. No one will let it go back. There is no oh, we were making money and now we won't make money. That's not going to happen. And there's not an issue right now with bandwidth and congestion. The internet does not cease to function in the US. And if that does happen, if they can't handle it, then you take it away from them. If Verizon and AT&T just don't feel like doing their job, if Comcast and Time Warner, which are almost now the same thing, and that sale shouldn't be allowed to go through, but that's a story for a different fucking day. If they don't feel that they are capable of upgrading the backbone and making things work better and, alleviating congestion caused by higher bandwidth, then they need to go. And they can't do this anymore because the internet is too important to the world and to the US at this point for it to falter because it might hurt profits. Like, no. No. You don't get to do that at this point. It is too late. And this is not related, and I want to touch on one last thing in this video. Well, it's related, but it's not net neutrality. The Comcast CEO, I believe, or someone high up in Comcast, was talking to the investors 3 days ago, and he said that in 5 years they expect to have basically data caps, 300 gigabyte data caps, everywhere, basically. That's what they plan on doing. They have usage billing or something like that. Like the amount of data you use is how much you pay. Similar to how data works on mobile devices at this point, and kind of how texting used to work, but texting now pretty much every plan is unlimited. But that they want to have usage-based billing in the future. And then he said, no, we didn't say that. That's not what we said. We plan on having, innovative, unlimited data plans in the future. Like, usage-based plans in the future. Wait a minute. Unlimited is the standard right this second. And they said that they need to do this to alleviate the stress and all the bandwidth, and oh my god, the internet is broken. Which, again, the internet, it works. It's still okay. The only thing I have a problem with is Fios and League of Legends. And that only happens between 8 and 11 p.m. So, okay, it's really bad, and I'm aggravated about it, and I'm trying to get it fixed, but that's the only issue I ever see. There is not, like, this giant congestion monster who's lurking in the shadows, and okay, maybe 5-10 years from now there will be a problem. You need to fucking fix it. You need to upgrade stuff. You need to work harder. You don't get to just yell and shout and scream. But, like, let's pretend for a second that there's a 300 gigabyte data cap per month that you have. I just downloaded MLB The Show, and it was like 50 gigs. Okay. So, if I download one game, there's 50 gigs. I don't know what Netflix does in terms of data usage per month. I have no idea. But I watch Netflix, I watch YouTube, I have Twitch streams open all the time. I will hit this cap faster than fucking anything in the world. And it doesn't alleviate anything. If I, say, on the first day of the month, use my 300 gigabytes worth of data available to me, and I get shut out from the internet, basically, for the rest of the month, or I pay the fee, which I think $10 for 50 gigs or something, I think was the fee that they currently have in, like, 7 places in the country. Like, if I don't choose to pay the fee, how did that fix the problem? Because the problem of congestion does not come from overall usage. The problem is usage at the same time. If at 8 p.m. the entire town gets on Netflix, there will be congestion and a problem, and the bandwidth will basically be larger than the pipe for it to flow through. But if I do it on Monday, and my neighbor on Tuesday, and the neighbor after that on Wednesday, and we keep going down the road until we all hit our cap on different days, that doesn't alleviate bandwidth problems. And the most likely scenario with, data caps is that you will hit your cap towards the end of the month. So if everyone in the town hits their cap at the end of the month and no one is on the internet, we alleviated the bandwidth stress for no one. For the no one in the town who didn't hit the cap yet. Okay, for Bob, who didn't hit the cap, the internet is lightning fast, and he's over there downloading shit and having fun until he too hits the same cap. It doesn't alleviate shit. And they said like 95% of our users never use 300 gigabytes a month. Then you don't need to implement a data cap that they will never cross. That makes no sense. You are not alleviating shit if one guy in the town crosses the cap. Because that guy's not fucking running a business through his basement. And if he was, you would know it, because I remember this case where FiOS found out this guy was like running a fucking website out of his house and wasn't paying for like the business plan or something, and they got pissed, and then he was like, I don't have to, which technically at the time he didn't, and then they changed the rules, and then he had to. And even then he shouldn't have had to, but then they went to court, and this whole thing happened. I don't know. But like, data caps that you hit at the end of the month where everyone hits them at the same time, or as they said, like 5% of people would hit them, that alleviates bandwidth problems in no way, in none, in zero. And it aggravates me because I know somebody's going to get mad at me for this, and I've been talking way too long and I need to wrap this up, but they always talk about, like, when politicians are running in the U.S., I don't know how it goes the rest of the world, but, like, terrorism. Everything is terrorism. In the Family Guy episode, I know, someone's going to get mad about this too, but where she's running for mayor, Lois is running for mayor, and she's screaming 9/11, and, like, the crowd just keeps clapping. That's how it works, like, it seems, with terrorism. They're like, we need to cut food stamps because terrorism. What is food stamp and terror? What is how are those related subjects? Like, if we allow gay marriage, the terrorist will win. How so? How so? And I feel like bandwidth is terrorism for ISPs. They just shout bandwidth, and then everyone goes, oh my god, the bandwidth. It's all the bandwidth, whatever that means, because I'm a normal person and I don't know these things. And then the FCC goes, oh yeah, the fucking bandwidth, guys. They said the bandwidth is broke. You don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even, the fucking, this only comes up if everyone's doing the same shit at the same time. And putting a data cap where we will all hit it at the end of the month, or none of us will, doesn't alleviate anything. How are you preventing Netflix viewing that's causing bandwidth problems? Implementing a cap that no one hits. I don't get what the fuck that does for you. Okay, I've gotten worked up. That's what's in my head this week. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Follow me on Twitter to find out all week, daily, what is in my fucking head. Because there's plenty of shit rolling around in there, and it makes me not sleep at night, and I'm going to go take sleeping pills and then go to sleep. So I hope you enjoyed. Please talk about it below. Again, these will be more organized when I have a setup of some kind that I can organize them within, and maybe they'll become more daily, but I doubt it, because I never do that when I say I will. But this is more of the kind of video I want to do. As much as I do like playing games and talking over gameplay, sometimes, it's only sometimes, and this stuff, new stuff, I like doing more. And I feel like I had great ideas about the Kinect thing, and that I might not have iterated them properly today, which is why I wish that I did the video the other day when it happened, because I was going to, and then I didn't. So I was like, well, it's a great thing for my new show I'm going to do every week. So I was like, oh, I'll save it for this episode. In the future, I think that when news happens that's big, like the Kinect being pulled from the bundle, I will cover it in a special What's in My Head on the day of, so that I have all the great ideas I had, because I felt like I had great ideas, and that's why I went to look at Twitter to see what I said, because I knew I had said a lot that day. And, you know, I brought up most of the points that were on Twitter, but I know that, like, all day I was thinking about that, and I was talking about it to people, and I had much better ideas. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up, because this is already way too long. So thanks. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any suggestions, again, I know I promised to be more organized, although I know I will be. I'll be more organized, but I don't know if I'll ever be as organized as I want to be. But if you have any suggestions, you leave them below. My Twitter is below. You can follow me there, like I said. And I'll see you next week. I don't know if there'll be anything else during the week, but we'll find out. Anyways, bye.